skateboarding reveals your character. I mean, you go out, you can't like make up style. Your style comes out when you do it. And I think that those types of people just naturally kind of gravitate towards each other. And that's exactly what happened in this situation.
What's going on here today?
I don't know. Z-Flex reunion.
Where does the name Z-Flex come from?
It came off of Zephyr.
Z-Flex started after we broke off.
Z-Flex started with Jay's dad, Kent. You know,
Right.
He was making the boards. That was it. It all started from Jay and Kent. And everybody else that was like part of that whole scene rode those boards because those were the boards.
Kent was like, I'm calling it Z whatever because it was kind of his baby.
Well, it was an extension of like where the whole Zephyr thing came from, and I think that it was cool that, you know, Kent was like still manufacturing the boards.
I guess we first made that Zephyr board, and then the second board we made was an Easy Rider. So these were the first ones. First little Zephyrs.
Right.
Then we came out with the Z-Flex. We just
This one's
shortened it to Z-Flex. And this was a big board for the time.
It was like being on a second generation Zephyr team. Like same energy. Me, Tony, Jay, Shogo. We were all still riding together.
We're still alive.
These are original.
Yeah, that's original, dude.
That's so killer.
How cool is that one? Sign this one for me. That one's going on my wall.
Here, look at the waves. Here's the waves this morning.
For a Creek?
Yeah.
When we were kids, we used to go to the Santa Monica Civic and see the surf films because skating was all about surfing for us back in the time.
Back then, we always wanted to simulate like we were surfing, you know.
Right.
That was the whole thing. You didn't want to kook out. You always wanted to carve. You wanted to be fluid. You didn't want to have that kinky style that still a lot of skaters have.
The Z-Boys Generation 1 and 2 show us the way and show us, you know, where it came from, where the roots were. And a lot of the roots were from like surfing, mixing it with skating and throwing in style. You know, not just doing a trick for trick's sake, but doing it just for the style's sake, you know, for the feeling of it.
Because the surfers that we looked up to were guys that were from Venice and Santa Monica. But like when they went to a place like Malibu to surf, where it was all mellow, everything was supposed to be all groovy and stuff, it wasn't like that. They were aggressive, and we took that attitude right from the water to the streets.
Z-Flex was one of the teams at the time that dealt with people like us.
It's hard to say. We were like the full, you know, terrorist outlaws. But to us, we were just hardcore skaters.
We were into the big, like, all going as a gang kind of posse going in and invading like different skate parks and stuff like that.
We were a little more rough and tough. Yeah, a little rowdier. And kind of like the movie got it right. It's like a hockey team.
Going to a figure skating competition. Perfect metaphor for like what happened, you know, when we showed up.
You know, I think the soul behind the team was that who we were as people. It just was a radical time. It was kind of a groundbreaking time in skateboarding.
Plumer was really, really good. He was gnarly. He used to go really fast and do the gnarliest carve grinds.
This is where I learned how to do the front side and back side air. It was right here at this bowl. and Sparky Gator carves.
What is a Sparky Gator carve?
That would grind the coping so hard sparks would come off my trucks. The edger that was my little masterpiece. Roll over the coping and then come back in. Like you said, you'd hang up a lot. But when you pulled them off, they were kind of sick, man. And back then, that was it. We were trying to do edgers or snappers, full bursts, extended bursts like that.
The day we graduated high school, the Kona Skate Park opened, and we all worked there.
We were like the park pros there, basically.
Yeah. Me and George and Plumer won a bunch of money, and we joined Plumer to make sure all his stories were true, because he'd been telling us these stories about Jay and Tony that just sounded too unbelievable to be true. So we all came out to California that summer. Here's a bunch of Floridian surfers. The fact that we were surfers kind of got us in there. We got to skate the dog bowl with all the boys.
The dog bowl, I remember Tony took me there. And then it was just the Z-Boys. Just the elite got to skate that place.
So we basically rode it the last day it was ridden. Dino's mom came out, like we were skating, and of course Tony was doing his bullshit. Come back the next day and it's got 3 feet of water and it's being filled up.
Are you the culprit? Yeah. Now let's cross out my name and put his model in there. That's a J maneuver. It's a J Adams / Plumer model.
Think we'd be here doing this 30 damn years later? My earliest memories of Z-Flex is Skateboarder magazine, and it's J Adams, Z-Flex.
Jay is the iconic skateboarder, you know, of that whole company and everything that it represents.
Jay was one of the top dogs for sure, if not the top dog.
Classic photo of Jay, obviously. Right. I mean, the golden child, the crown prince, you know. What can you say about that?
I like this one at the little Montebello Park. See, because you can see Jay's surf style there, you know. Everything he did was just sidewalk surfing.
I mean, he's my favorite skater of all time just because he skated like he surfed. He was lower than anyone. Like, say guys would start doing routines, and I mean, Jay, everything he did was like that, always.
He just didn't want to hear anything. He would just like do things because he felt it, you know. And I think that's why he took that Z-Flex and did things with it that nobody even thought about doing.
There was a lot of progression going on, I think, especially in the fruit bowl back then.
Some of my early memories were fruit bowl too, because I rode fruit bowl with Tony and Jay, and I remember the shit Jay was doing was just unbelievable.
I like really the shots like this, like the ones of Jay going for inverts and stuff. Let's just put it this way, he wasn't making every one of them, but that was kind of like where Jay was starting to really push it into the future.
Well, those were the first ones really attempting it. Yeah, and I just did those because I was flying out and just putting my hand down on their thing. Nobody really grabbed the board.
And when he did the first like front side, lay back hand plants, right? That poster?
The one we just
the
saw.
one we were just looking at. That, I was there that day and watched that shot being taken.
Just trying different stuff. Not making everything, but attempting it. You know? Nobody else was trying it.
When you think of Z-Flex, you think of Jay. I do. I think of Jay Adams. Cool thing is we have Jay still here, you know? Thank God.
What? Full Knievel. Boom. Oh my God. What? Fold. You can put that on one of those. No pads. Still going.
Love at first sight, but you didn't realize. Now all at once,
brings back such cool memories. And still to this day, this was the funnest time of my life back then, man.
Yeah, I was making like $3 to $4 grand a month, touring with no expenses and a daily per diem, and just, yeah, living the dream, you know, for like, and then it got ugly.
You can see in this shot where Jay's like got his hand down on the hip and he's just doing like a hand plant. I mean, there wasn't anybody doing that stuff back then.
You know, Jay was just always on. I remember one time we were in Santa Monica and he goes, hey, Akin, check this out, man. Picked up this half a brick and he goes, see that camper shell down there? And just goes, boom, throws this brick. The thing just goes, wham! This dude comes out of the thing, just nuts, and starts chasing us down this alley. It was like every time I hung out with Jay, we were running.
It was another day in the life of growing up in LA, you know what I mean? So fortunate to have made that curve.
We're always the raddest, we're always the fastest, we're always the baddest. That's why Z still rules to this day.